and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. Will treat you right.
All right, that was our cue right there. Let me put Matt's picture on here if you're looking at the video. There he is, Matt Gibbs. We were talking off there, so I'm going to blame Matt for that.
Okay, that's it.
I was telling you a story. Matt Gibbs is here to answer questions about your car, your truck, automotive questions are fair game during this show. The number is 622-9622. Matt is with Sunrise Automotive and also with Crossroad Auto Sales. And remember, Sunrise Automotive is the mechanic part, not the car sales part. There's another Sunrise Automotive that sells cars, but that's not you.
All right, there's a Sunrise Auto Sales, which they actually closed down. So
oh, they're done? Okay.
They're done, yeah.
They moved to Alabama, from what we heard.
I don't know.
All right. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, the other day, Robin brought a car in, and we didn't recognize anybody at Sunrise. It was all people we didn't know.
Well, there's only one new person.
Really?
Yeah, Tom, the man in the office.
Oh, okay.
Chrissy's still there. Philip's still there.
Well, we didn't see anybody we knew. There was like 3 people in the office, and they were like, "Oh," I said, "What happened to everybody? We don't know any of these people."
Everybody's still there. We just added a couple more.
Did they tell you what happened to Robin's car?
Yeah, Brian did.
It was not the clamp on the battery wasn't loose. It was the wire that attaches to the clamp that was loose.
Yeah, it was like the wire that goes to the terminal.
Yes,
not the terminal itself.
Yes. And I never heard of that before. But here's the peculiar thing. The car wouldn't start in the exact same spot in the Publix parking lot. And I said,
Don't park there no more.
That's what I said. Don't park. This is the problem. And remember I told you I had a stalling problem outside of McDonald's in the same exact place. And now it hasn't happened since, but it happened like 3 times. It was crazy.
Yeah, pick you a new spot when you.
But I was also with Doug, and I thought, well, maybe it's Doug that's causing the problem. So the cars of today all have computers in them.
They do.
And this is an issue for you, right?
Yes.
You have to deal with this all the time.
All the time.
You were there from the beginning. I remember your stories of how you were there for, was it 80 and a half?
80 and a half.
80 and a half. See, I remember that.
That's very good.
And that's when things started changing.
That's when it all started changing.
And were the other mechanics resistant to it?
Yes. Well, and I happened to be very young. I was 17
years old. So you were open-minded
old.
to it all?
I was open to it, yeah. I didn't really know what I was open to. I'm just like, yeah, heck yeah, I'll do this. I'll learn how to do this.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Come on.
That's why God made people young.
That's right.
Once we get old, we're stuck in our ways.
And I happened to be working at the Oldsmobile GMC dealership here in town, and all the guys in there, I mean, even the guys that washed the cars were older than I was, so it was
you were there.
So the guys in the shop were just older, been there forever.
And they didn't like this.
They didn't want to deal with nothing.
Thing.
Yeah, and then especially in 1985 when the Oldsmobile 98 came out with fuel injected motor. That was the first that was the first time I saw port fuel injection. And that was it. That the old guys that put them under.
Now, this is also one of the reasons why the backyard mechanic is not so common anymore, right? Because the computer is often the culprit.
Well, there's a lot of things that the backyard guy can still do. There's still the brakes and the exhaust, and there's still those things that the car still has. But yeah, what we're finding is that here's my dilemma. All right, these back in the early 80s when these cars first came out with computers in them, they had a PROM in it. They had a chip, and inside that chip had all the specifications that the manufacturer wanted that particular car to do. All these data, all these tolerances, all these numbers, all that stuff was on this chip. And if there was a glitch, if there was an issue, you would order a new chip for the computer. You'd pop the old chip out and you put the new chip in.
Simple as that, huh?
As simple as that. Well, later in the late 80s, early 90s, they started coming out with erasable PROMs. So you could actually You didn't have to take them out. You couldn't take them out, but you had to hook them to another computer, and then you can start rewriting the information. And from there, it's just evolved into this stuff. And like I was working on a car the other day, and there was 18 operating systems in this one car. So in other words, the air conditioning, the ABS, steering, traction, engine, the powertrain, transmission control, all these different computers are in these cars now. And what we're seeing is that the cars come with glitches. My car, a lot of times people come in and say, I'm driving down the road and my door locks just click, click. They'll just lock and unlock, or my wipers might, wipe. And what it really boils down to is that the computer's having a glitch, and so we can search on our computer, and we can look up TSBs, and almost on every condition a car can have, there's a TSB that says, okay, you need to check the calibration of the computer, of these computers, and let's just say we're having an engine related issue. So we look up, my car does this driving down the road. So we punch it in our computer. Oh yeah, there's a TSB for that, and the new calibration number is 1522697.
Oh my God!
So we have to hook another computer into your computer to find out what calibration number that you have. Well, if you don't have the correct calibration number, that means there's an update.
Wow!
Just like how many times do you guys have issues with your computer?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And here's the deal. You go to the dealer, you buy the car. Whatever calibration, whatever that computer has as far as software, that's it. That's all you get.
So, but we can't, like with these computers here, if something goes wrong, we can reboot them. This board yesterday just all of a sudden stopped. This is a computerized mixing board.
Right.
All I had to do was unplug it and plug it back in.
That's it.
How do you do that with a car?
That's a good and that's a great question. It's something that we're seeing over and over and over and over and over. It's like, okay, years ago you brought your car and it was time for a tune-up.
Right.
It's getting to the point where your computer needs to have a tune-up. But here's been a problem. None of us can afford all the diagnostic tools to do all the different
None
cars.
of us, meaning the mechanic profession? Okay, yeah. Wow.
It's ridiculous.
So they made it cost prohibitive for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I specialize in all the GM stuff. And I got a buddy over here that specializes in the Ford stuff, and I got another buddy over there that specializes in the Chrysler stuff, and this guy does all the European stuff. And it's like, our battle has been, how can I at Sunrise Automotive take care of these things and be able to do it efficiently? So as of 2 weeks, I've been doing a lot of research, because you know me, I'm always researching stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a company called Drew Technologies, and Drew Technology actually makes a lot of the computer devices that allow us to communicate and interface with the actual car. And so that they have developed a tool that will allow us to go in, and it doesn't matter. They don't do all the manufacturers, but they do, I'd say, 80% of them, to where we can go in and check. And if your car needs the new calibration, if it needs to be updated, we can do all that kind of stuff now. So this has been a long time coming.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool that the technology is getting out there to where.
So in a way, it's almost better for a guy like me who can't afford the latest and greatest, because the garages have to all catch up too. So at least you got the stuff that'll take care of my car.
Yeah, well, this stuff will go right up into the brand new.
Oh, you got it all set for everybody. Okay.
And I should be getting this stuff in a couple of weeks. So
wow.
So hopefully I'm going to be bringing a guy in from Drew Technologies
to explain some of it.
Kind of talk to the folks, because all of us out here, every time I do a reflash or I do a calibrate. I always see that these cars, there's been 4 or 5 updates from the one that you have. You see what I'm saying?
I'm sure, yeah, at least 4 or 5.
And they give you a definition of what changes, and it's stupid little stuff, But those stupid little things can make a difference.
But now, will there be a day, this is asking you to speculate, or maybe it's already here, where the updates happen automatically?
I have a feeling that's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do have a phone call. And by the way, the phone lines are available if you want to ask Matt a question. This is a topic we probably haven't talked a whole lot about. It's the computers in your cars. So if you want to call in with a question, the number is 622-9622. Good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air with Matt Gibbs.
Yes, thank you, guys. Matt, say, when you guys do an oil change, do you check the batteries out?
Yes. I mean, I don't go in and check the battery. I don't do a complete, Deltron circuit test, but we check the terminals, make sure they're not all corroded and corroded. Now, if we see corrosion and stuff like that, we'll tell you that we need to service the battery. And then if we service the battery, then we go in and we load test the battery, check your starter, your alternator. But I don't do it unless there's a reason to do it.
Yeah, I know my mother-in-law said that she went in for an oil change here a while back, and they checked the battery, and they said that one of her cells was weak, although she didn't notice any trouble starting the car or anything. Is that something to be concerned about, and how many cells are in a battery?
Well, it really depends. I think most, it depends on what size battery, of course, but, the average battery probably has 6 to 8 cells. And, I mean, and if it has I don't quite understand how someone could say it has one weak cell when all the batteries are kind of sealed now. Where before you used to be able to pop the tops off and put distilled water in there.
Right.
Well, if you did one of those and you kind of load tested it, you could see the reaction of each one of the cells, and then you can determine if there is a low cell. But I don't really know how someone could say that this battery has a low cell on a maintenance-free battery. But that's.
If you have a one or two, a couple of low cells, is the battery still functionable?
A lot of them, you can't even add water to them anymore. They're actually sealed. I don't know if people understand this or not, but a battery produces hydrogen gas. And hydrogen gas is quite flammable. So I think after a few people have died, servicing batteries, they pretty much sealed them up and ask you, really, you don't mess with your battery. I don't know if you've ever seen one explode. I've seen 2 explode.
Yeah, I've seen
I don't want to be around.
After effects of it. Yeah.
I don't want to be around when that happens.
No.
Living up north, they always, with the zero weather and all that in the wintertime, everybody always went and got what they call a heavy-duty battery. Is that such a thing, and would that be needed down here with the heat?
I didn't get that, Hugh.
Yeah, say it again.
You're breaking up real bad.
When we lived up north and with the cold weather, the zero weather and everything, everybody always bought what they call a heavy-duty battery. Would that be necessary to have it down here with all the heat?
Heavy duty.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer to have a heavy-duty battery. Like a lot of GM cars, they used to. Now, here's the deal here with a lot of the newer cars. They're coming with they're all switching. I don't know why, but they're switching to European style batteries.
Really?
And those batteries are real expensive, and I don't know what the advantage is over that style of battery compared to the normal everyday battery that we used, but back in the day, like a regular battery would be a 75 series battery for a GM car, and heavy duty battery would be a 78. It's the same connection, same size, it's a little bit larger battery with a higher capacity, and so I prefer it.
So to connect the computer conversation with the battery, does the computer dictate, I can't think of what the word would be, or tell the car to continue charging it? I mean, like in the old days, it was just an alternator that charged the battery,
yeah,
right?
but it depends. It depends on what kind of car. Like Chrysler products, the voltage regulator that's inside of most alternators not inside the alternator on Chryslers. They're inside the actual computer. The computer tells it to charge at a certain rate.
Okay. So you could have something wrong with the computer, and it would look like something was wrong with the battery or the alternator.
It could very well.
Ah, okay. You know, the other question I have for you, there was a story this morning, I think it was the Tesla that was having an argument with Consumer Reports, because Consumer Reports do tests on brakes. And they said the Tesla is very poor when it comes to being able to go from 65 to 0, which I never heard anybody talk about that before. How quickly, how long, how far, how many yards do you go before you stop? And apparently Tesla's disagreeing. No, that was a fluke. And they said, no, we did it more than once. And they were stopped. We'll have a hard time stopping, I guess, with the brakes. Is that also controlled by the computer? When you step on the brake nowadays, it's not the same, right?
Right.
It's controlled by it somehow.
Well, and that's another operating system that is controlled by a computer or slash module. Back in the day, in the 80s, when they came out, they linked up with Tevis brake systems. At least GM did, and Tevis brakes is the same brakes that Boeing uses on jets. And
that should be good.
It actually is. and the brake system on a jet is quite cool to look at. I mean, it's kind of amazing, actually. And but that was the same type system that GM kind of got hooked up with, and so that computer system, when you smash the brake before. Back in the old days, we just slide on through.
Yeah.
But now that those calipers can pulsate like 30 times a second.
Wow.
That's a lot.
So you're not really you're not dead stopped. You're a little
right.
bit.
You're pulsing.
Wow.
On a 30 times a second. That allows you to steer and allows you to avoid, and it also, and if you're not sliding, right? If you're not sliding, the distance of stop is way shorter.
Did you ever see there's a photograph, and it shows like either two rabbits or two cats or something sliding in the sand, and they said this one has calibrated brakes and the other one doesn't.
No.
Did you ever see that one? Oh, I'll try to look for it. Silly. All right, the phone lines are open if you want to call Matt. The number is 622-9622. If you are needing a good mechanic, I will recommend Matt right now. We always go to Matt. We call him. I always feel like you're getting tired of seeing us. You show up in the morning and you have a car waiting in your parking lot.
Every day.
Oh, really?
Every day.
And here's the funny thing. The tow truck driver who took Robin's car to your place, she started telling him, and he goes, I know all about it. I know where it is. I know where the key slot is. And so he must take a lot of cars to you.
Yeah, they do.
So it's just part of the way we live our world, right?
Yeah.
Just get up and go. That's kind of cool. What is your number over there? I don't know where my papers are.
My phone number is 352-690-1993.
Yeah, write that down. And, this is the kind of thing you don't want to use, because not that you don't want to see Matt, but hey, by the way, if you do see Matt, he's got a great coffee machine. I am a big Dunkin' Donut fan of coffee. I mean, isn't there coffee? Are you a coffee drinker?
No, I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Oh, so you don't even drink your own coffee?
No. I enjoy, when people do get a cup of coffee, I enjoy the smell. And that's what ruined it. I'm like, this stuff smells so awesome, and then you taste it, and it's like, how could something that smells that good taste so bad?
Yeah.
It just...
So when the computer is messing up, and it appears to maybe the older driver that it's the alternator or something else that we might have, because our experience is our experience. We don't know what's new, right?
Right.
I don't really know what's under the hood anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people, like a fuel pump's not working. Now, it used to be, the fuel pump's not pumping fuel. Let's put a fuel pump in.
Right.
Now it's like, we just can't go do that. I mean, we're going to find out, okay, are we getting a signal from the PCM?
Because it might not be the fuel pump.
Right. Is the PCM supplying the ground circuit for it's a process now. And we need to verify and know that that's what it really needs. Now there's so many modules and stuff, and everything is controlled by a module now. The door locks. You push the door lock and that door thing locks and unlocks. I mean, you push the little button and it goes. You ought to see what it takes for that to happen today.
Oh, really?
It used to be a relay. It used to be a fuse and a relay and a switch.
No more.
No more. Those days are over.
Hey, I have a question for you. Is the sound of the blinker
Man,
artificially created. Really?
Yep.
There's not a little thing happening.
Nope. It's artificial.
I can remember, and of course, this is a long time ago. Every once in a while on Facebook, they'll say, "What do you remember that kids of today probably don't remember?" This one never comes up. When you had to change that little silver-looking thing that was the blinker.
Oh, the flasher?
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have that working, it didn't blink. You had to do it manually.
Yeah.
Push it down and down and down.
I've had to do that before. Now that's not a flasher no more. That is now a module.
I don't think they teach the kids how to use your arm either. I don't see anybody putting their arm out the window anymore.
No.
Do you think they still teach that? Put your arm up for right, your arm to the left for left?
No, I don't. If they do, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to one of the driver ed guys over at Vanguard. I'll ask him. Yeah, because
if your blinker breaks, here's what you got to do. Most people don't use their blinker, by the way. Have you ever noticed it? It's like,
a lot of people.
It's a symptom of laziness. I don't feel like putting it on.
They know I'm fixing to go over. I'm going to go over there. And they know it.
I'll be there before they know it. I'm done. No need to do anything else. It's interesting to see. There was a story out of, I guess, Los Angeles, and one of those guys, Elon Musk, I guess, has a tube that's going to take you from downtown LA to the airport.
A tube.
A tube, yes.
A tube?
It's 110 miles an hour, yes. You're in a pod.
Oh, it's like the thing that you put in the bank thing? You just get in this tube.
Yes.
Big, like, giant vacuum?
That's what it sounds like to me.
That would be cool.
It's going to cost $1 to ride.
Okay.
And it'll take you to the airport like in no time. It's a 110 mile an hour thing. Tube, yeah. Yep. Suck you down.
Yeah.
Well, there was one that was bragging 700 miles an hour. Do you remember that one?
No.
Yeah, there was one that
That's $2? For $2 you go 700 miles an hour in the tube?
But what I don't get, and I guess they have L.A. subways, I don't know, but aren't earthquakes there? I mean, isn't that a bad place to put things underground? Where people are going to be?
Yeah, that could be.
Anyway, so
you imagine being sucked up in the tube, and then there's the big one.
Yeah, so I was gonna. What was I gonna show you? I was gonna show you the rabbit, but no, there was a story this morning about the Consumer Reports having an argument with Tesla.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that one. TESLA, right? Let's see, Tesla.
Man, when we were up in Boston at the Boston Marathon, there was a Tesla dealership right in the middle of downtown Boston. How awesome was that cool place?
Oh, here's the thing. It says Tesla's Musk admits the Model 3 has a braking issue and promises a fix. So now he's not arguing with Consumer Reports. He's saying, yeah, we got a problem.
Well, and that fix it. So that's fine.
How far? So what is the standard? I mean, how? 65 to 0 should take how many yards? We don't know.
I have no idea.
See, that's what I wanted to ask you about.
I mean, I don't know what is the recommended.
Tesla Model 3 shows 60 to 0 braking weakness in CR test. That's Consumer Report. So I don't know what the number is. See, 60 to 0. Okay, here it is. The Consumer Reports claims that its braking test resulted in a 152-foot average stopping distance from 60 miles per hour. That contradicts Motor Trend, which achieved 60 to 0 in 119 feet. So I wonder what is a car? So if you know how long it takes to go from 60 to 0, you'll stay back farther. People tailgate everybody. Isn't it crazy how many people tailgate?
Yeah, you don't want to.
Do you get road rage?
Oh, every once in a while.
You control yourself?
I think it doesn't. Everybody get a little road rage.
I try not to.
Well, I try not to, but it just.
Do you know a secret to my success
what's that?
in avoiding road rage? Don't look. I swear, if there's somebody behind me blowing his horn or whatever, and then when he passes me, if I look to the left and he's giving me the finger, oh my gosh. I want to become James Bond. I want to chase him down, throw some spikes on the road,
All right, so let me ask you this: when you're on the interstate, okay, and there's 3 lanes or a highway, okay, and don't be in the fast lane going slower.
Why do you think I would do that?
I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying don't do that.
I don't do that. But if you're in the left lane on 27, getting ready to turn left into Sunrise Automotive,
well, that's different. Yeah,
you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm talking about on the interstate.
On the interstate, yes,
Lord
I agree.
have mercy, because here lately we're on the interstate an awful lot.
Are you?
Yeah, and it's like I want to put on how to drive on the interstate classes. People don't understand.
Oh my gosh, Matt, we go to you because we know you're going to get the job done. We know you're quick. We know you're fair. We know you know your stuff, and now you have the whole computer thing. So you've got a guest coming in next week?
I think so. We're going to try to work.
Is he
it
local
out.
or on the phone?
Yeah, he's local, but he's working out of Jacksonville, and.
Okay, so will he be in the studio?
I'm gonna try it.
I hope
I don't
so.
want to do it on the phone.
It's so much nicer on in the studio. Yeah, so
yeah.
much nicer. All right, well, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Larry.
Call Matt, get your car running nice. We'll get an oil change. It's a good way to introduce yourself to the services over at Sunrise Automotive.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Treat you right, we'll treat you right.
The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF